Hi, everyone. In this example, we want to look at how we can combine text using flash fill. So the problem statement that we have with us is that we have an employee database where we have the serial number, we have the source, we have the department, the position, the first name, and the last name. What we would like to do is to combine the first and the last name and also create the email ID. To use flash fill, we can go to data, and then next to text to columns, there is a button called flash fill. The shortcut is Ctrl+E. But first, we have to give a few samples. If I want to combine Aaron and Bergman from column F and column G, we can simply type Aaron space Bergman. We press Ctrl+E and we get the result. There is no limit on the number of records that we have. If you want flash fill to only work with a certain number of records, then you can select those rows and then press Ctrl+E, and it will understand any pattern that you give it. You don't even have to give the very first record. You can give any other record as the sample. For example, if I put the last name first and then put the first name, you notice that that is how it is coming for all the other records. In case you only wanted to give the initials, that works as well. And let us say that I just wanted the first name and the first letter of the last name followed by a period. You will notice that this works as well. A tip to keep in mind: sometimes when the data set is a little more complex, flash fill might not work perfectly, in which case you probably can explore giving more than one sample. There is no perfect answer to that. Give more samples if you're not happy with the result you're getting with a single sample, and also try to change the type of samples that you're giving. Let's also try to create the email ID. Now, if I say a.bergman@gmail.com and we press Ctrl+E, you notice that this is not working perfectly. Rather than picking the second A from Aaron, it is picking, or rather than picking the first A from Aaron, it is picking the second A. That is why in Justin, it is not picking U, or rather it is picking U, it is not picking J. But why is this happening? Now, flash fill is a bit like a black box, which means that we are not really sure how it works. It doesn't show us the computation. It doesn't build any formula for us. Hence, the only way to fix this would be to not just give a single sample, because if you give a single sample, then there is an ambiguity. And Excel doesn't know, do you want to pick up the first A and convert it into lowercase, or whether you want to pick up the second A. But the moment I give it j.ritter@gmail.com, we are making it very clear to Excel as to what we are doing. And now there is absolutely no ambiguity. And the moment we press Ctrl+E, you notice it works perfectly. So remember, when the answers don't come, try to give a different sample, try to give more samples, and try to give samples of different types. We can also use flash fill for separating text. And again, it doesn't matter whether the text is on the left or to the right. It also doesn't matter if you're combining it or separating it from 2 or 3 or 4 columns. So the number of columns can change, and you can also look from both left and right. What you cannot do is to specify which columns to go to. It will go to all the adjacent columns on the left and all the adjacent columns to the right. In this case, when I give it Aaron, you notice that it is working. But what if these headings were not there? Now, this time you notice that the column H is not really adjacent to column F, since there is a blank column in the middle. And that is the reason why flash fill did not work. But if the heading is there, then it becomes a part of a single data set. And hence, as you can see, flash fill is working perfectly. I can also give Bergman and press Ctrl E to get the result like this. Flash fill has been around in Excel for more than a decade. On face value, it doesn't seem like a very difficult tool to use, but it is an acquired learning. If you really want to get really good at flash fill, be curious, explore, take a few chances. If you don't try different combinations, you will never learn when flash fill works and when it doesn't. After so many years of working on flash fill, I've seen a lot of people are still not very good at it because they are very cautious. And the only way for you to learn all the peculiarities and the quirks about flash fill is to, like I said, be adventurous and try as many different combinations as you can. Be warned, it's a wonderful tool, but sometimes with very silly things, it might fall flat and not work. And the only way for you to learn when it works and when it doesn't work is for you to practice it a lot. One more tip that I would like to give is to not rely on flash fill completely. That's not to say that I'm not confident of the results that are coming. I'm very confident of the results as long as the data is clean, but it's garbage in, garbage out. If your input is wrong, then of course the output will also be wrong. Also keep in mind that when you're working with flash fill, you might still have to do some preliminary data cleaning. So don't be afraid of using a blended approach where you do a little bit of cleaning first, then do a little bit of flash fill, and maybe do some other cleaning and other functions and formulas post that. That blended approach and the right combination of these different tools is what makes you a very good Excel user. Unfortunately, that's not really something you can learn from a textbook, and you have to keep on exploring and trying different combinations. But the tool is an indispensable part of my arsenal. And if you want to be a good Excel user, especially those of you who do a lot of data cleaning, please make sure to spend a lot of time on flash fill. It's going to make your life a lot easier.